Welcome to tonight's meeting. I'd like to open with a pledge to the flag. Please join me. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Then would you call the roll, please?
Here.
Ms. Lesniak? Here. Mr. Tupper?
Here.
Ms. Dickman?
Here.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Here.
Ms. Saban?
Here.
Mr. Sykes?
Here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular town board meeting from May 21st, 2019.
Moved. Second.
Any corrections, changes, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1 is introduction of local law D 2019 regarding addition of indoor storage. E1 is allowable use in BRB zone with special use permit. Entertain a motion to introduce local law D 2019.
Moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This one has a secret type 1 action involved in it. I'm sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself.
Yeah, we need to go through the
Right.
part 2 of the EAF, and I'll read through it. This is a text amendment to our zoning ordinance, so it doesn't really deal with any particular piece of property out there, except by adding this use, which is self-storage units and et cetera, into the BRB district. Wherever there is a BRB district, this could happen, okay? Now, the concept was that the self-storage units are really kind of a transitional type of thing. There's not an awful lot of in and out traffic. It's not like a retail use. It's not like a commercial use. And, chances are that the impacts upon neighboring properties are going to be kind of minimal. And that's why it was seen as kind of a buffer between heavier commercial use and residential use. If you look at the EAF Part 2 that's in your package that was sent to you, we'll go through those items. Impact on land. The proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the surface of the proposed site. Well, yes. Most of these are on cement, on slab, and then they build them up like they look like garages. So we would mark that as yes. And because we mark that as yes, we have to go through the questions underneath it. Depth to water table, really, we're going to have to say small to moderate at that point, because if we're going to be talking about a specific site, we're going to be doing a separate review on that. The proposed action may involve construction on slopes of 15% or greater. I would say no. The proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface. I'll mark that no. The proposed action may involve the excavation removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material. No. The proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. Usually when they build these things, they're done in about 6 weeks. They come in, they lay the slab, and then they're building everything up around it. Proposed action may result in an increase in erosion from a physical disturbance or vegetation removal. I've got no to small. The proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion area, hazard area. I don't think we have any of those in Van Buren. Generally, they're located along the Atlantic Ocean, as far as we are concerned, or the Pacific. Impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landform on the site. It's up to you, but I would mark that as no. Impacts on surface water. No, you're not gonna be building this on the water, and it's not going to be immediately adjacent to the water place either. The impact on groundwater, well, the slab, I don't know how many feet that's going to go down, but probably 2 or 3 feet maximum.
Come on.
Yeah, so I would say no on that one. Impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on land subject to flooding. I would say no, because when it came to get the approval for it, nobody would approve it on a site-specific basis. Number 6, it's on page 4, impacts on air. The proposed action may include a state-regulated air emission source. There actually would probably be no emissions whatsoever from a self-storage facility. I'll mark that one no. Number 7, impact on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna. It might. You're going to be, taking out, vegetation and putting in a concrete slab with building on top of it. So I guess we would have to mark that one yes. Proposed action may cause a reduction in the population or loss of individuals of any threatened or endangered species as listed by New York State or the federal government. I would say no or small impact. The proposed action may result in the reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any rare, threatened, or endangered species as listed in New York State or the federal government. I'm going to mark that one as no or small. The proposed action may cause a reduction in population or loss of individuals of any species of special concern or conservation need as listed by New York State or the federal government. Mark that as no. The proposed action may result in a reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any species of special concern. Mark that no or small impact. The proposed action may diminish the capacity of a registered national natural landmark to support the biological community it was established to protect. I don't even know what they're talking about, but I would say no. Or I would think that would be in like a state park,
Be
or
like
a
Montezuma
federal park,
or
or
something like that.
Montezuma,
Yeah.
or a place that was established to preserve, specifically to preserve the biological environment that was involved. The proposed action may result in the removal of ground disturbance in any portion of a designated or significant natural community. No, I don't believe we have any in the town of Van Buren. The proposed action may substantially interfere with the nesting, breeding, foraging, or overwintering habitat for the predominant species that occupy the site. I'm going to say no or small impact. Requires the conversion of more than 10 acres of forest, grassland, or any regionally or located important habitat. I'm going to say small or none. Involves the use of herbicides or pesticides. No or small impact. Now remember, when somebody actually comes to build one of these things and they put a proposal in front of you, you're going to be looking at site-specific issues in those cases. And if any of these things are triggered, you may have to look into them more deeply. You can't put one of these things on top of a bald eagle's nest, that kind of thing. And believe me, those things do come up. We had a project up in Schuylkill one year, and that was all they were talking about was the eagles along the river there. And that and the Indian arrowheads that were made of plastic, I don't know how that happened. Impact on agricultural resources. I don't know if any of the available BRB sites are agricultural in nature, but the supervisor's saying no, and I would say no. We'll just mark that one no.
By the way, there's only 2 of these zones in the town. They're down on Route 48, across from what I call the rotary station, the quick fill station, right down that general area. So they're real tiny, both of them, and they're not very big at all.
Number 9 is the impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action are obviously different from or are in sharp contrast to the current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource. I'm going to put no on that one. 10, impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource.
Not to my knowledge.
No? Okay. We'll mark that one no. You probably know all the historic and archaeological sites in town, in terms of historic buildings and such. Impact on open space and recreation. The proposed action may result in the loss of recreational opportunities or reduction of an open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan. I'm going to mark that one no, because I don't think we have one. Number 12, impact on critical environmental areas. I don't believe the town has designated any areas in the town as a critical environmental area. No? Okay. Mark that one no. Number 13, impact on transportation. And I don't know if, it says the proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems. I don't know if you see a self-storage facility as,
We could check it yes and be a small impact, the way I see it,
mark that one yes.
I would say. There's going to be
Okay.
traffic in and out of there, and there's not now.
I'm going to mark all of the indicators below that with a no or a small impact.
Right.
Basically, what we're saying, there may be some impact, but if there is, it's not going to be anything major. And I can't see where a self-storage place is going to generate a lot of in and out traffic or really impact the use of the roads in the area. Impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy. There'll probably be some lighting. I would think that would be the only energy involved, would be some electricity for around the units. I don't see it as being one of these things that would trigger like big upgrades to the electric system or anything. So I guess we could mark that one no. Impact on noise, odor, and light. The proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting.
Well, there'll be probably wall packs, but they'll be pointed so they're not pointing toward the
They'll be
neighbors.
pointing down where the people are coming and going from their
Some noise
units.
during construction.
Okay, we'll mark that one no. I don't see any possibility of odors resulting from that. Light shining onto adjoining properties, no. Impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. No?
I can see it.
Okay, I think we've, nope, one more, two more. Consistency with community plans. Does this generally adhere to the community's concept of allowable uses in these areas?
Yeah,
Yes.
outdoor storage is allowed in BRB now. This is going to allow indoor storage.
Okay,
So-
so it's consistent, it's not, this is one of those things where the state plays it cute and it reverses the way they say it in the question and try to get people to answer it wrong. But it's, the proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans. Not consistent. So no, it's not consistent. Sure, yes, it is not, you know. So anyway, no, it's not. Consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character. I'm going to mark that one no. And with all of those answered in the way we've discussed, you can now attack the resolution. And the resolution introduces the local law, and it makes a negative declaration under seeker, and it schedules a public hearing for June 18th at 7 p.m.
Type 1 action.
Type 1 action, no other involved agencies.
Right.
Town board is lead agency.
And there'll be a public hearing set for June 18th.
Right. And we've sent this to county planning. We're hoping we'll have a response back in time for that meeting.
Right. Anyone on the board got any questions?
Thank you, Kevin.
With that, then, we'll take a roll call vote on,
Well, we need a motion and a second.
well, we did, but
Okay, want to use that? Okay, who was the motion on that? Okay. Thank you. Okay, now you just need a vote.
Roll call.
Ms. Vanderwater?
Yes.
Ms. Lesniak?
Yes.
Mr. Tupper?
Yes.
Ms. Dickman?
Yes.
Mr. Dudzinski?
Yes.
Ms. Saban?
Yes.
Mr. Sens?
Yes.
Okay, we'll schedule that up for a public hearing on the 18th. We'll get the notice out, and like I said, hopefully we'll get a response from county planning, and we'll be ready to go with that on the 18th.
Okay, item number 2 is introduction of local law E 2019 regarding zone change from R40 to PUD for parcel number 064-03-01.1, Seneca Golf Course. And this will set a public hearing and also go through the same procedure we just went through for the secret. So bear with us if you will, please.
Okay, you have a proposed resolution in front of you. The proposed resolution says that this is a type 1 action, there are no other involved agencies, and that this board will act as lead agency. It further says that based upon the review of the EAF, that you are going to make a negative declaration under seeker and schedule a public hearing for June 18th at 7 p.m. Now, if you want to go to, you've got your package of EAF documents. The first part of that is the Part 1, which was provided to us by the applicant. Goes through and answers all the different questions that the EAF Part 1 requires to be answered. And then you get to the Part 2, which is the second grouping there that says page 1 of 10. You can find that. That's where we will commence our start now. I will say that Jason and I worked on this today, and we've done our best to identify everything, and using the information that was provided to us by the applicant, these are some proposed answers. If you don't like it, sing out. And in the meantime, I'll read off what we've come up with as a proposal for you to consider. On page 1, 1, impact on land. The proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. We've marked that yes, obviously. You know, they're going to build 196 units of either townhouses or single-family homes. They're going to build roads. There's going to be some sidewalks. You know, it's going to be developed. So, yes, it will change the physical alteration. We have marked all of the questions that come after that, A through G, with a no or small impact. We can read through those if you'd like, but you've got it in front of you. It's up to you. Do you want to read through them all?
No.
No.
We could do that, but all of those we've marked them as no or small impacts. On page 2, item 2, it's the impact on geological features. We have, it basically says the proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit to any unique or unusual landforms on the access site. Then it mentions cliffs, dunes, minerals, fossils, caves, etc. We mark that as no. There would be no such impact.
Didn't find any caves down there, did you?
That'd be cool.
No caves? No.
Okay. Number 3, impacts on surface water. We marked that one as yes. And again, we went down the questions that are provided right after that and indicated a no or small impact on all of the indicated sensitive points. Those are kind of like the qualifiers. You read through those to see different impacts that there might be. And we just said, if there are, we don't believe there are. If there are, they are of a small impact nature. Anybody want to read through those, or do you want to?
No.
Okay. Number 4, impact on groundwater. We've indicated no to that. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer. This is public water, public sewer, correct? Now that, where you run into that is septics and wells. and you know, all the rules for separation of them.
Right.
And when the more development you get, and the denser the development, the more that can be an issue.
And this is coming off the county water supply, so
Yeah.
it's surface water.
So this section really is aimed at septics and wells, and we indicated no on that. Impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in the development on land subject to flooding. We've marked that one yes. It's conceivable. We've also marked them all as no or small impacts on the receptors. Now, you'll notice like A is development in a designated floodway? No. If you look at the part 1 of the EAF, all of this was laid out for us. The proposed action may result in development within a 100-year floodplain? Yes, but small to moderate impact. No or small impact, I'm sorry. The proposed action may result in development within a 500-year floodplain. Well, on part 1 of the EAF, they actually identified that, yes, there is some development there. We've indicated no or small impact. As I recall on the plan, the flood areas are off, that's not where you're building. They're off in the corner toward the river. Yeah. May change floodwater flows that contribute to flooding, either no or small impact. And then if there is a dam, there is no dam, so we don't need to worry about that question. Impacts on air, I marked that one no. This is, you know, you're going to have during construction, there's going to be some temporary impacts with equipment running and cars and trucks coming and going as you're building houses and such and building roads and everything. You will have some of that, but it's not like it's not like an incinerator at a hospital where it gives off on a regular basis, and in fact, you need to get a DEC air permit in order to operate it. There are no operations like that anticipated. So I marked that one no. Impact on plants and animals may result in the loss of flora or fauna. I marked that one yes, and marked all the receptors as no or small impacts. Impact on agricultural resources, I've marked that no. The reason being that was a golf course, not an agricultural land. Number 9, aesthetic resources. I marked that one yes, because for one, I think golf courses are beautiful. Aesthetically, yes. I think Jason agreed with me on that. You know, they're beautiful.
Golfers, what do you expect?
Yeah, well, but also a lot of people would think that nice green open land is you know, just as on an objective basis is beautiful. And I indicated again on all of these small impact or no impact. You want to read through those, or do you want to?
No.
No, okay. Number 10, impact on historic and archaeological resources. We said yes. And we indicated again the receptors, we said no or small impact. And this was triggered on their EAF Part 1. They mentioned that they're in this new broadened Erie Canal heritage area. I imagine actually the more sensitive things are probably the river and you know, things that you're more familiar with, but the impacts from housing development are likely to be small, keeping in mind it's been operated as a golf course for years with all of the activity that goes on in a golf course, not just the playing of a sport, but also the agricultural work that goes on there, digging up and planting grass and cultivating the land. As far as I know, it's not contiguous to an archaeological site recognized by SHPO or anyone. Anybody?
I have no doubt.
None were identified in the EAF, and I'm not aware of any right there. Impact on open space and recreation. I said yes. Recreation, golf, open space, golf course. And I indicated all of those things would be a no or a small impact. I don't know if you want to read through those or not.
No.
But generally speaking, and just objectively, you're taking a golf course, it's open green space, and you're making it into a, now there's going to be a lot of green space in this development too. There are going to be lawns and open areas. It's going to be beautiful. You can see right behind the camera there how much of it is green. You know, that there's still going to be plenty of green space. You just don't want to be hitting golf balls in there, I don't think. Impact on critical environmental areas. We just went through this with the last thing. We don't have any designated critical environmental areas, so I answered number 12, no. Number 13, impact on transportation. I've marked that as yes. You know, 196 homes times 2, maybe, is going to generate some traffic. It's just going to. But generally speaking, I don't know if it's going to be that significant compared with the traffic that's already traveling in that area. And so I've marked them all as no or small impacts.
Right, and DOT will review that.
Well, when you go to actually do the subdivision and you're looking at the actual construction of the site, the DOT will look at that, and they may have requirements for traffic signaling or turn lanes or something like that. And I've just done one of these in Lafayette and one of these in Onondaga in the last few years. In both cases, they required traffic signaling, and in both cases, they required turn lanes. So it's just, it's their call because it's their road. Number 14, impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy. Well, yes, they're going to have, all of those houses are going to have lights, and they'll be using it. I think the estimate was 12,000 megawatts? Anybody? Okay, let me look it up. It was 12,000 megawatts, I think, for the subdivision. Why don't you look for that while I'm going through the rest of it? In part 1, there's a section that says you don't have your part 1. Okay.
Impact on energy.
Okay, there. Somewhere in there it has 12,000, I think it was megawatts. Okay, impact on noise, odor, and light, I mark that as no, because while there might be temporary impacts from excavators and bulldozers and equipment that's working there, and there might be some temporary impacts during construction of saws and drills and the type of thing that go into a construction of a project, it's probably not something that's going to be long-lasting, so I mark that as no. And then I put on there some noise during construction, limited duration to period of construction, just to clarify what we were thinking. Impact on human health, I mark that yes. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. I mark all of those as either no or a small impact. Item A says the proposed action is located within 1,500 feet of a school, hospital, licensed daycare center, group home, nursing home, or retirement community. And on the EAF Part 1, they identify that it is within 1,500 feet of a school. So that automatically triggered you into the yes answer. And then I indicated all the sub-answers were no or small.
How the crow flies, it would be 1,500
Yeah,
feet?
that's not near, that's not close.
I didn't
I think closer
question
to
it. It was
Loretto
on the
than it would be
EAF,
to
and the
school.
applicant
Yeah.
provided it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
probably
just-
closer to Loretto than it is to school.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
Wow.
because the nearest school would be McNamara up on O'Brien.
Right.
yeah, McNamara is the one they cite,
See
it's
it?
not 1,500
That
feet.
school is straight west of this development. That school is a lot closer.
That's what I'm saying, by the way the crow flies.
Yeah, he was just joking.
That's the way views fly.
So it's,
Yeah, that you checked it right.
17, consistency with community plans. The proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans. I put no. It is consistent. It was, your plan shows that as a residential area, and this is a residential proposal. It's a different configuration and allows some more flexibility in development, but in terms of use of the land, this is exactly what the town had planned. Consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character. I indicated no on that because I thought it was consistent with the community character.
But it references industrial and commercial projects for mixed use.
Okay, well, I guess we're not going to find that reference. So, having reviewed all of those, and noting for the record that they are going to have public water and public sewer, that it's already zoned R40 for residential use, that the PUD allows flexibility of that development, and it accommodates the townhouse aspect, because you can only have townhouses in PUDs. You can't have them in R40 or any other zone in the town. Then, with all of that, you can go back to your resolution and consider whether or not you want to pass that resolution as proposed.
Type 1 action then, based on everything we just went through there,
Right. Type 1 action.
and it'd be...
No other involved agencies. The town board is the lead agency, and rendering a negative declaration on the basis of the review of the EAF and your knowledge of the area. And scheduling a public hearing for June 18th at 7 p.m.
Right. With that, entertain a motion to adopt the introduction of the local law.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hold it, got to be a roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
Ms. Vanderwater?
Yes.
Ms. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Tupper?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
Ms. Saban?
Yes.
Mr. Sykes?
Yes. Item number 3 is set 2019 summer staff wages for pool personnel per the memo from the Parks Director. You have that in front of you, from Kathy.
You have page 1 with you?
A lot of these are returning
New page 1.
employees.
Yeah.
It's been with us for years. Entertain a motion to adopt this, set the wages for, as outlined in this memo.
Moved. Second.
Any
I
discussion?
don't even have the original.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is approved town assessor's request to attend the New York State Assessors Association Ethics and the Assessor one-day seminar
Owner,
in Liverpool, cost not to exceed $120.
206.
Entertain a motion to that effect?
I don't have.
Moved.
Second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Oh, I would add that we shared the cost with Lysander.
Yes, it
For-
gets shared with Lysander.
On the part 1.
Sorry.
Okay, get that to me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Did that?
Aye.
Okay. Gentlemen, can you send the town clerk an electronic file copy of the map so we can post it on our website for the public? Okay, thank you. Okay, Councilor Committee reports and comments. MF.
The Land Use Committee had its first meeting on the solar questions before the town. We'll be meeting again on June 18th at 5:15 PM. Jim Ruddick and Tony Geis from the Planning Board were also in attendance. And there is a question whether or not FiOS, why FiOS has not implemented a plant on the, I think it's the east side of Village Boulevard North, Idlewood Court and Higgins Drive. There's no FiOS plant down there, so we've been in contact with them twice now. The first time we've gotten no answer, so we've gotten some complaints from residents down in that area, how come it's not available? Okay, that's it.
Wendy.
Nothing tonight.
Pat.
Just hope people still enjoyed the Memorial Day parade on the real Memorial Day on Thursday, the 30th. Unfortunately, towards the end of it, the rain started, and it was pretty wet down at the cemetery. But those that held out, you know, it's still always a good recognition of what the day is. And also just noticing that they're about complete, I believe, with the sidewalk along Downer. So that's looking good. I know people, especially that live in Harbor Heights, will be glad to have a safe
Yeah,
walking.
I guess there's been some comments on social media regarding that project for edification of the public, that was grant money that was given to us through Senator DeFrancisco 4 years ago. We're just getting around to building it now. So taxes aren't going to go up because of it. It's all grant money from the state. So, and as well as the negative comments, I've had a lot of positive comments from people in the area that it's about time
Right,
that
yes,
something was done.
And that was all part of the Downing Street corridor starting back from 2008,
Right,
that needed to
right.
go in for safety of all the residents.
Right. So, anything else, Pat?
Oh, thank you.
Ron?
No, nothing.
Darcy? Howard?
Yeah, the senior center meeting at 7:45 this Thursday, a.m.
Okay. Highway superintendent's at Highway School in Ithaca. I only have one comment. The town board voted to basically plaster the pool and upgrade that in the kiddie pool. That project is done. It's filled with water and will be ready for the swim season, which will start in about 2.5 weeks. So that cost was about $138,000 plus $13,800, so about $150,000. Yeah. So.
And we did not take out a loan to do that. We had funds available for that.
Right. Jason, you got anything?
I have nothing to see.
Kevin?
Nothing further.
Lynn? Citizens' comments? Anyone wishing to address the board? Andy?
196 parcels. That's a lot of houses over there. And one of the things they remarked, and I'm sorry they have left, was how successful this development is. The last time I was here. And I have a couple of things. I'll try to go through it briefly. A lot of the houses only have windows on 3 sides, and that's a problem. I think it's an energy code issue, and I think it's a town issue. But when you have a house with a blank wall, it is not aesthetically pleasing. Enough on that. The quality of the roads have been a problem in developments. Developers are only going to do what developers are going to have to be held fast to. The town inherits the roads and they have to resurface them, to my understanding.
That we have a set of specifications they have to meet,
Sure.
and the town engineer makes sure they
Just-
are constructed to
Yep.
those
That
specifications.
one's about 4 to 5 years, and some of it's not looking so great.
They still got to put top on some of that.
Okay, just fine. An interesting issue is the retention basin adjacent to the town hall. There's a house. That foundation is built on the berm to the retention basin. Who controls the green space, which was brought up? It seems to me anybody who's going to buy a house that has a foundation on the berm to a retention basin is going to have kind of a crappy situation. Who's going to mow it? Who's taking care of it?
This one, this development, the town's responsible for the detention basins. That one will be the homeowners association.
Correct. And that's an important thing. The homeowners association, I think, is a very, very positive thing. There's some over in Camillus. They are super enthusiastic. They can't sell a house outside of it because people want to buy and stay within the home association of that neighborhood. So that's a good thing. Another thing that I wanted to remark on was sidewalks. We just got sidewalks to the Harbor Heights development. How many years has that been?
They weren't there when I moved here in '74.
Correct. So
Either was Harbor.
this development here, Marion Heights, children are going to the school district, to the middle school over here. They are forced to be on Van Buren Road.
Those that aren't
They're-
bust.
They're all bust.
I see a lot of walkers and bike riders after school and before, as we know, my mom lives right over there, so I'm around quite a bit. I'm concerned about sidewalks on Van Buren Road because of this development. I think we need to talk about that and maybe readdress that and see if there's been a change. Because we talked about it a few years ago. Sidewalks are a pain in the butt because there's not a lot of room and there's ditches. I get it. We're talking about these parcels, 196 parcels. Those people are going to want to walk to the grocery store. Was it 3/4 of a mile away?
Probably not that far.
Yeah. I think we should be holding them accountable versus waiting for grant money to show up from some free place to put sidewalks on. The DOT study of traffic is very important. I get it. I think that's important. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to address the
You know,
board?
I think, speaking of that, there's gonna be a lot of traffic along in there for 196 homes. Because that road is only only one way each way. To me, there's gonna be a lot of traffic. You know, I have another question. I don't know if you know the answer to this. They'll be on 40 acre, well, there can't be a back entrance. It seems there's gonna be one entrance out of that development.
There'll be two entrances onto State Fair Boulevard, State Fair Boulevard, Route 48.
Right.
There will be an emergency exit onto Van Ness
There won't
Road.
be one in the back
No,
anywhere.
just an
To
emergency.
me, I wouldn't want, I mean, personally, I wouldn't want that. Only one way to really get out with 96 homes, only 2 roads, and
Well, the fire
I would think
department,
they'd want something more in the back.
the fire department had to approve the construction of those roads and the access points in and out. Yeah.
That's fine, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
A lot of people's under the misnomer we're approving this, and we're not. This still has to go back to the planning board for all the site review and everything.
Yeah.
So these will all be questions that will be addressed by the planning board.
When I think about that,
This is just the first step, is looking at changing this from
Residential.
R40 to PUD to allow this type of development. Then the planning board will take over, this will get sent back to them, and they'll go through all this stuff.
I mean, there's not nearly as many homes out here as there's nowhere near 196.
There's
homes.
98 here.
Right, yeah, as many, so it's not.
So the comments that are made go to the planning board for the next step.
The other thing on this development that they've looked at or they're proposing is 72 parcels here are patio homes. And they're assuming empty nesters, and whether they're here year-round or not.
What's
The-
a patio home?
It's basically, it's a ranch home. It'll be on a foundation, but it's a ranch home. It's not a,
Vanilla basement?
it will have a basement, yes, full walkout basement, but they consider it a patio home, so it will. That's what the developer is talking about, so,
Is there enough elevation for that?
Yes.
It just,
yeah. So they're assuming that part of these patio homes, people may not be there during the winter. They may be down south someplace.
It will be in the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, my name's Ralph Mills. I'm wondering what the reason for rezoning PUD is for North Fork.
Gives more flexibility for the developer and the town.
Right, isn't it supposed to be mixed use though? And I don't see-
It is mixed use. You got single-family residential and patio homes. That's a mixed-use type of thing.
But the patio homes are single-family homes also.
Yes, but it's still considered like a mixed use. It's not like commercial and residential mix, no. It's a residential mix.
It was under the maybe misimpression that PUD was more like Village Green where you had a golf course.
This is a PUD right here. This development right behind Town Hall here was a PUD.
It doesn't have all the same size lots. They're not all 10,000, 15,000 square foot lots. There's a variety of sizes.
But isn't the purpose of PUD for mixed use in its own?
No, it's for variable.
As R40, they could have only had 1 acre lots. So if they want to mix up and have some that are smaller for their patio homes and some that are a little bit larger, the R40 would have restricted them, whereas the PUD gives them the flexibility.
All right, and then second is, I've been following this process on the zoning board. At what point do lot sizes become firm, and at what point does somebody say, yes, you can build on that lot, or no, you can't build on that?
Once the planning board gives its final approvals.
Which, this goes back to the planning
Yes.
board?
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, they'll be doing a subdivision review
Okay.
at this point, now that the zone change is in place. And they will be, you know, as you would say, putting, you know, carving them up in stone.
Right, because some of those first patio homes, if they have walkout basements, would have been very wet about a week ago. When we had that down.
A lot of people are very wet.
Yeah, well, the first hole, or the eighth, it used to be the first hole, it's the eighth hole, I think it's under golf course, was underwater a couple of weeks ago, so.
Well, they'll have to take care of that, all the drainage issues in the development of that whole property. That'll all have to be taken into
Understood, but
consideration.
You can't go lower than the river.
Right, yes, sure, sure.
Okay. So it's during the plan, it's in a phase yet to come that decides whether a house can
Yeah,
actually
at
go
18th, we'll have the public hearing on the zone change from R40 to PUD, and then it gets sent back to the planning board for all their site plan review and everything else.
And who actually does the surveilling of the lot? I mean, who actually goes out and looks at the property and says, yes, it's okay to build a house there, or no, it's not?
The developer.
The codes office.
Well, the codes officer would, along with assistance from the town engineer.
Okay, thank you.
And just a point of clarification, we've been hearing 196 all night, and it's minor, but it's 193 actually that's in all the paperwork.
Yeah. And they did propose originally 206, and they have come down from that.
There is no multiple family.
No.
Anyone else wishing to address the board? Okay, seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn to June 18th at 7 PM.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for coming.